Hello, MotoGP fans. There's something new. Come on, let's read the full story. Don't go anywhere, okay?
Meta description. What if the most confident debut in years is actually the most dangerous illusion in MotoGP? Is Toprak Razgatlioglu truly ready for the storm called Márquez, or is this season about to deliver a shocking reality check? Watch, read, and decide for yourself, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe because this story will change how you see the grid forever. Ngakak. Bulega only smiles at Toprak's swagger. Debut is never as easy as the talk, and Márquez is the ultimate test. What if the paddock's loudest confidence is actually hiding the biggest fear? What if the laughter you see on camera is not mockery, but prophecy? And what if the debut everyone is celebrating is secretly walking toward the most brutal examination modern MotoGP can offer? Before you judge this story, pause for a moment, take a breath, and ask yourself this: are we witnessing the birth of a new legend, or the beginning of a painful awakening? Stay with this narrative until the very end, because what unfolds is not merely about speed, trophies, or reputations. It is about pride, pressure, psychology, and the unforgiving truth of racing's highest stage. The cameras caught it in a fraction of a second. A simple smile. A quiet laugh. A subtle expression that exploded across social media. Nicolo Bulega, calm and composed, observed Toprak Razgatlioglu's overflowing confidence and could not help but smile. Not a mocking grin. Not an arrogant sneer. Just a knowing expression, the kind worn by someone who understands exactly how the story usually ends when talk meets reality in MotoGP. The caption went viral, the comments flooded in, and the phrase echoed across the racing world: Ngakak. Bulega kuma senyum lihat gaya Toprak. And in that moment, something much deeper than rivalry was born. Toprak's arrival into the MotoGP conversation has been anything but quiet. His charisma, his statements, his fearless posture, and his unapologetic belief in himself have electrified fans and unsettled rivals. He walks like a champion before officially wearing the crown. He speaks like a man already holding trophies before touching the MotoGP grid. And while the world applauds such fire, Bulega's reaction reveals a more complicated truth: confidence is easy before the storm. Because that storm has a name. Márquez. This is where the story shifts from excitement to tension, from hype to history, from promise to pressure. Márquez is not simply another competitor. He is the mountain every newcomer must climb, the shadow that stretches across every dream of domination, the test that separates fantasy from destiny. You do not measure yourself in MotoGP until you have measured yourself against Marc. And that is why Bulega's smile matters. It carries the wisdom of experience, the memory of fallen dreams, and the understanding that the grid devours arrogance faster than any racetrack. Toprak's debut, no matter how decorated his past, no matter how extraordinary his talent, no matter how electric his persona, is walking into a battlefield where confidence alone has buried countless champions. MotoGP does not care about reputation. It cares about precision, endurance, psychology, and pain tolerance. It does not reward words. It demands proof. Behind the paddock walls, the tension is already visible. Engineers whisper. Managers calculate. Teammates observe. Rivals sharpen their focus. The fans feel it too, the strange mix of anticipation and fear. Because the question is no longer whether Toprak is fast. The question is whether he is ready for the war of attrition that defines MotoGP at its highest level. Whether he can endure not only the bike, but the politics, the pressure, the media, the expectations, and the psychological warfare that comes with sharing a grid with Márquez. And then there is Marc himself. Watching. Waiting. Smiling that same quiet smile Bulega wore. Because Marc knows something every champion eventually learns: the grid humbles everyone. When Márquez lines up beside you, the track feels narrower. The braking zones feel shorter. The margins vanish. He does not merely race you, he enters your mind. He questions your choices. He forces mistakes. He bends your confidence until it cracks. And this is why Bulega's reaction struck such a nerve. He has seen this movie before. He knows how many fearless newcomers arrive with thunder and leave with silence. Toprak's swagger is real. His talent is undeniable. But MotoGP history is filled with talent that believed too much too soon. The difference between surviving and becoming a legend lies in what happens when that belief is tested by someone like Márquez. When the lights go out, the cameras fade, the cheers dissolve, and only the track remains, the truth emerges with brutal clarity. This is not about disrespect. It is about reality. Every generation produces a new hope. Every era crowns new challengers. But very few survive the baptism of fire. And that is exactly what Toprak's debut represents. Not a celebration. A trial. A confrontation with the sport's most merciless teacher. The paddock knows it. The riders feel it. The fans sense it. And Bulega's smile says everything without speaking a word. As the season approaches, the atmosphere thickens. Every practice session becomes a statement. Every interview becomes a chess move. Every lap time carries weight. The narrative is no longer about potential. It is about survival. Can Toprak adapt to MotoGP's brutal learning curve? Can he withstand the mental pressure of racing the most relentless competitor of this generation? Can he translate swagger into substance when the stakes rise and the margins vanish? Because MotoGP does not forgive hesitation. It punishes it. Marc Márquez has built an empire on exposing weakness. He does not attack loudly. He attacks precisely. He forces riders into impossible decisions and then capitalizes on their doubt. For a newcomer, especially one carrying enormous expectations, this psychological storm can either forge a legend or dismantle a dream. This is why this season feels different. It is not just racing. It is theater. It is warfare. It is the clash between ambition and experience, confidence and consequence, hope and history. And somewhere in that storm stands Bulega, smiling quietly, understanding what many fans are only beginning to realize: debuting is never as easy as talking about it. So as the lights prepare to go out and the engines prepare to scream, ask yourself this. Are we about to witness the birth of a new era, or the most dramatic lesson MotoGP has delivered in years? Watch closely. Feel the tension. Follow every lap. And when the story unfolds, remember this moment, the smile, the laughter, the warning that came without words. Now it's your turn. Do you believe Toprak is ready for the ultimate test? Can anyone truly be prepared for Marc Márquez? Leave your thoughts in the comments, hit like if this story made you feel the fire of MotoGP, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this unfolding legend.